Hi there, this is Lizzie from Wonderful World, and today this is just going to be a short video to run you through a three-step process to boosting and starting your freelance business in 3 months or less. Now, the only reason I say 3 months is because these are the steps I took over a period of 3 months to grow my freelance business into something that replaced my full-time income. But you can do it quicker than that if you've got some extra time or you find yourself having to go freelance quicker than expected. You can do these steps in less than a month if you want to, in 3 weeks, maybe even a week if you're that dedicated. So to begin with, step number one is to leverage your space on the internet. In this day and age, unless you have a 15-year-long journalism career or something where you know editors and you have connections already, it's really, really difficult to start a freelance business without a presence online, without a space where potential clients can find you, they can see what services you offer, what it is that you can do for them, your prices, some of the work that you've done before. To set up your space, first of all, you're going to need a website. It's up to you whether you choose something like WordPress, Weebly, Squarespace, or anything else. I'll leave you to do your research on that because I'm not the most technically minded person. I use WordPress for Wonderful World, but I use Weebly for my writer website simply because there's a really easy drag and drop interface there. So once you've set up your website and you're happy with how it looks, I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can always kind of play with it as you go along. You can tweak things here and there and make it better, add to it as your business grows. But as long as you have that space which says who you are, what you do, who you help, and how you can help them, you're kind of on the right track to getting your business off the ground. So once you've got that set up and ready, you're going to want to create some portfolio pieces. Most clients these days will want to see an example of your work before they hire you, just to see that you can actually write, that you can actually do the work that you say you can, and that you're going to be a good fit for them at the end of the day. Now, I know a lot of you don't have any portfolio pieces, you haven't had any work published before, you might not even have a blog, you're kind of at the very start of your career, and that is absolutely fine. The one thing you can do if that's the case is to create bespoke pieces, so you can just write them off the cuff without having a brief. So for example, if you're going into the health niche, you might want to write a couple of blog posts to do with certain trends in the health niche at the moment. You might want to write sample copy for an About Us page for a health brand or company. Or you might want to write a sample press release for a new health business that's launching. I'd advise mixing and matching it up a bit, so kind of creating a few different kinds of pieces, maybe in different styles, different lengths, different formats, just to give your portfolio some diversity to begin with. And you can always hone it down later on once you start getting real paying work in. So once you've got your website set up and you've got a couple of portfolio pieces under your belt, I'd suggest publishing 1 or 2 blog posts on your site. Now, most platforms, WordPress, Weebly, Squarespace, will have this feature built in so that you can just start publishing work immediately. Just in case a potential client comes to your site, it's not kind of this barren space with nothing there, especially if you do want to go into content writing, online writing, freelance writing of any kind. It's really good to show that you're kind of doing that regardless of having any clients or anything anyway. So it's kind of something that you're ultimately passionate about. So you want to make sure that each blog post that you create, these 1 or 2 blog posts, are really targeted towards your ideal client. So you want to touch on their pain points, you want to answer some of the questions that they might have about hiring someone in your position, or you might want to offer some advice about a problem they might be having. For example, if you want to write for health brands, if you want to write blog posts for them, you could create a blog post that is about how to create perfect blog post headlines if you're a health brand or something like that. Just something that then leads on to your services and that gives an idea of the kind of things that you can help them with. So those things, getting your space, kind of creating a portfolio and getting some blog posts published, are the first step that I would suggest on this 3-month journey to growing your freelance business. The second step is actually finding some work, because you can't really have a business if you don't have any clients, if you don't have any work coming in. So this method is definitely one of the most proactive methods you can use for finding freelance clients. It's definitely not a sit back and wait for them to come in. And that's really, really important at the start of your career, because no one's going to know about you, no one's going to know about your services or what you offer or how good you are, until you start getting clients and testimonials, some case studies, and everything in between. So to start with, I'd suggest getting together a spreadsheet of between 30 and 50 brands that you'd like to work with that are within your niche. So again, if you want to work in the health niche, you want to be getting a list together of health brands that you would like to work with, that would be a good fit for you and that you think you'd be able to help them with the services that you offer. To find those brands, you can use Google by simply searching for health brands, health companies you can use a specific place, the area that you live in, or you could do health brands that focus on face health or something. I don't know, I'm not really in the health industry. You can also use Twitter, to use the search bar on Twitter to search for CMOs of health brand companies. CMO stands for Chief Marketing Officer, and they're the people who will be dealing with all the content and stuff for the site and all of the promotional activity for the brand, so they're definitely the best person to get in touch with. But if you can't find CMOs of the company, you can look for marketing managers, you can look for PR people or media managers, anything to do with getting the brand out there, the content writing, the kind of how they present their brand to their audience. And once you've got this list together, so I recommend starting with between 30 and 50 brands, you want to start reaching out to them and just introducing yourself. So this isn't about shoving your services in their face and saying, hire me, hire me, hire me. This is about slowly connecting with brands in your niche. So you want to just introduce yourself, say what it is that you do, and ask them if they could maybe use some help with their blog content or their website content or their social media content. Just putting out those feelers to see what kind of companies would be interested in working with you. And once they start replying, you can kind of get into more detail about what it is you do and how exactly you can help them and how you can provide value to them and their website. This process is kind of ongoing. I mean, for me personally, I try and reach out to about 10 new brands every week, but I'm suggesting 30 and 50 for you to begin with, because you need kind of a big number for people to start getting back to you, and you want to kind of start building your client base quickly. So of course, that means safety in numbers. So once you've started reaching out to potential clients that you'd really like to work with, it's time to move on to step 3 of this 3-month formula. And that step is all about creating systems. So to keep your business running, to keep it going, to keep the momentum up. You've been doing all of this kind of hard work on your blog, on your site, reaching out to clients. That seems pointless to just kind of stop and wait for it to all dry up again. So at this point, you want to be putting a marketing strategy into place. And that's how you get your services out on a regular basis, how you meet new clients, how you connect with new potential clients. So as an example, my marketing strategy involves social media, and it involves blogging, and it involves these direct contact pitches that we spoke about in step 2. Social marketing strategy, social media marketing strategy, involves doing one thing each day, so something different each day. So on a Monday, I might send out a tweet about my services. On Tuesdays, I might get involved in some Facebook groups. On a Wednesday, I might write a blog post. On Thursday, I might write an article on LinkedIn or Medium and publish that and tag some relevant brands in it. And on Friday, I might do some Pinterest, find some brands on Pinterest, or check out some new hashtags on Instagram. And this is a really good method to use to do one thing each day, because then you automatically know what you're supposed to be doing on each day, and it doesn't get overwhelming. So you're not trying to do 100 things at once to get your business out there. You're simply focusing on one thing at a time and making sure you do those things properly. So those are the 3 steps to this 3-step formula to getting your freelance business off the ground in 3 months. Now you can choose to focus on 1 step each month, or you can choose to do things quicker, 1 step a week, or you could do 1 step a day if you have the time and the inclination. So just to recap, step 1 is creating your space on the internet. It's creating portfolio pieces to share with potential clients, and it's setting up and publishing some blog posts so that your site's becoming populated. Second step is about building your client base, starting to reach out to clients, letting them know that you're there, letting them know that you have these services to offer. And the third stage is creating systems so that you can keep up the momentum. So that will be things like creating a social media marketing strategy, maybe a blogging calendar, and implementing the direct